Hello, everybody, and I'm sorry you're seeing OBS, my recording software. For anyone who has seen it, they know it can be complicated for someone who hasn't used it in a while. I am Purple Cam, and this is the Purple Cast. It's something I'm starting. My intro was not recorded properly, so I wanted to just make a quick introduction on what I'm going to be casting, what's going to be happening, my inspiration for casting this, and a few quick words at the end. So first, I want to say, like I said, I am Purple Cam. This is the Purple Cast, and why I'm casting this. Well, I watch a lot of Guile, and if you know Guile in the FAF community, in terms of his YouTube channel and his casting, he's very popular among FAF, and while not a professional player, definitely a professional caster, does a very good job. I watch his videos daily. I'm catching up on all of his old stuff, so I have there's so much stuff I have to watch, and I'm just a huge fan. My inspiration for casting is mostly in part to him, not because of what he does, but more because he does make the point all the time that FAF does need more casters. And while I'm not the best player, I am someone who can talk a fucking mile and a half. So I just want everyone to know that I will now be casting, and I think I will do a good job. I hope I will. I'm confident in myself in that regard. Um, Second thing I would like to say is this is Forged Alliance, and this mod that I have brought up for you right now is Forged Alliance Forever. It is a mod that was brought on more of a custom multiplayer lobby game mod everything. It's basically everything all in one. It's a database of anything you can do on this game, and also has a chat lobby which you can talk, to your buddies. It has co-op missions for the campaign, which is custom only to this mod. You can do ladder matches, all that stuff. It's got tutorials for anyone who's new, leaderboards, tournaments, live streams, and then there's replays in a little database here for you to look at and watch, and also a vault full of mods, which are all compatible with this, whatever you want to call it, bigger mod. Now, I just casted a game. This is the reintroduction, because my recording software had a little. I haven't used it in a while, and I used to have an old YouTube channel that I just did fun stuff on, and I stopped doing that because I got into some more serious stuff. I was commanding on Guild Wars 2 for anybody who knows about that, and I've always been a huge fan of strategy. Everything from Age of Empires to Command and Conquer to yeah. I can't even think right now. I'm so flustered. But there are so many RTS games out there, and so many people try to make these games creative and new. And I really think that Supreme Commander Forged Alliance is the best real-time strategy game ever made. And the fact that there's this mod out that lets it continue to have multiplayer access just further shows that, and proves my point that so many people have said, this game needs to be brought back to life or whatever, that they went in ahead and did it. Now, like I said, I'm not a professional player myself. I play casually and I have a good time with my friends, but I would love to get into professional play as well. It's just such a fun game, but I'm just no good at it, That's why I thought I'd cast, because while I am just getting back into the game after a long hiatus, I do know the fundamentals of the game, and I really want to make this community bigger. One of the things that I've noticed about FAF is the fact that while it is such a great mod and it's such a great place, it just doesn't get the recognition it deserves. And recently I've been watching Guile, and I found out that indeed he is doing a lot of real life things. I also am doing a lot of real life things, but I have a lot more free time when I'm not. So I wanted to, be another person that this community can rely on for casting, and can say, yeah, Purple Cam casted that. It was a good thing. It was fun. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. And because of that, now I'm playing. That would make my day if someone said that, because that's what I want. I want people to find out about this game and enjoy it. It's such a cool game. And so many people, I feel like, have never heard about it. It just isn't advertised anymore. It's just not, no one brings it up and makes a big deal about it. So I'm going to make a big deal about it. I'm going to make a fucking huge deal about it, and you all are going to know about it. And sorry, I raised my voice. Anyway, long story short, people, I am Purple Cam. This is the Purple Cast, and I hope you enjoy my very first cast. Feedback is always wonderful for me, so if you have anything when you see the cast and you say, you know what, I saw that and I was like, please point it out to me. Please let me know, and I'll do my best because I really want this community to grow, and I really want to become involved in this community as a caster. I think I would do great at it. So, without further ado, enjoy. And here we are in the match. Loading. I'm sorry. I wanted to get ahead and load so I could talk about some stuff while I loaded. So, like I said, I'm not the world's best player. I'm not the world's worst player. However, I really want to see this community grow, and I'm a big fan of, helping out in any way I can. So with that being said, the way I'm going to cast is more focused towards not just 1v1 ladder matches, but just the community as a whole. I'm not going to pre-watch my games. I want the experience to be genuine for me, as it is for the watchers. And I know, casters cast, like, just the cool stuff. But that's not what I want this to be about. I don't want people to think that Supreme Commander is cool all the time, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression and say, like, or see it and then play the game and be like, well, that didn't happen for me. Well, of course not. I want the community to be shown off as a whole. So I want to show matches on the lower ranks, the middle ranks, the higher ranks, everything. I want the game to be shown off in all its glory, and I think the best way to do that is just to find matches of all kinds and cast them, show them off. And hopefully, as time goes on, I'll build a fan base which can send me in better matches that I can cast, because, I want you guys to enjoy this like I do. But to start out, I want to cast, these lower games, and I want to recognize these players that are basically just like me, just average, great, not so great players. So, not to say anything about these two. I haven't seen it. I don't know, but I know I'm not the best player in the world. So anyway, let's get in here and see what happens. We have Hala going Cybran first land, rocking typical red Cybran, building the hydrocarbon as we speak, looking pretty good so far. And then over here we have Impassatra. God, on my first cast I get a name like that. Of course I do. Going first land also, rocking UEF blue. We're just going to call him Impasse for the time being. Building some early anti-air, hoping that Hala doesn't get out some jesters or bombers, but looks like he's not going to right away with that early land factory. And wow, Impasse really not doing good on mass already. Oh, never mind. I'm tripping balls, peeps. I saw 53 and I was like, is that the norm? And I so anyway, guys, I want this to become a regular thing that I do, and I work full time. I have a relationship going on with a girl who's in Sweden and I'm in America. So I do have a lot of other issues in terms of, that would stand in the way of this, but I want this to become something I want to, that I can do, because I want it to, it's fun. I want to do it. Not because I feel like I have to or anything, and that's I really hope this becomes a thing. And I don't want to become famous or any of that bullshit. I don't want this to become a YouTube channel to be based around popularity. I want it to be based around community. I want it to be a community awareness channel for FAF, kind of like Guile has the FAF community awareness playlist. But I want that to be the focus of this channel, just to bring people to this game and hopefully have an impact on the game that is a positive one, because that really is what I want. I really do want a positive impact on this game. It's just such a great game. It just doesn't get the recognition that it should, regardless of how old it is. It's just it's such a beautiful game. But anyway, let's get into this. So we have a Tech 1 light assault bot running his ass off across the map. Gonna go try to snipe some of that early build capacity, followed by some Mantis. Never mind, they're all hunters. Lots of labs on the field. For Hala, gonna try to snipe some of those early engineers. And if Impasse doesn't guard his engineers, that looks like exactly what's gonna happen. Got a striker out from Impasse, gonna try to do the same thing, it looks like. And another striker getting some good expansion up here by Impasse, moving to all those areas, getting good reclaim. getting those mass points under control. Really needs to focus on getting this little civilian area here. If he can get a few artillery, a few, what are those called? I came back from a long hiatus, like I said, so give me a little bit to get back in the swing of things. Medusa. If he can get a few Medusas on that T1 PD, he can get those mass points in no time and get all that reclaim. Maybe capture that radar system for himself, save himself the trouble of having to build one. Who knows? Looks like those labs got engaged by those strikers, and Impasse is going to notice that now. But this lab going to snipe this engineer maybe. Nope. Looks like he's going after the mass point. Big mistake there. Could get that build capacity down. And now the engineer is going to reclaim the light assault bot, and that's the end of that attack. However, over here we have a similar situation, but it looks like the lab decided that he was not going to attack the mass point and took out the build capacity. Good job on Hala's part, really securing those early game engineers and knocking them out. It puts a hamper on Impasse's economy, and that will definitely help him in the long run if he can get a few more of those, which I hope to see. Early game harassment is always one of the funnest things to watch in these games because it really determines the outcome. Whoever can get the earliest eco is really set for life, and then it's just a matter of playing and making the right moves throughout the game. Having some strikers harassing some mass points here for Impasse, going to possibly knock out 2 T1 mass points, and that's going to put a little bit of pressure on Hala to make a move. He doesn't seem to have a lot of land units out right now. A few labs here and there, but mostly engineers, and that's definitely not going to do him good if he can't get this under control. Going to speed the game up to +3 now because no need to run it on -1. Sorry for that. I just forgot that I was done talking. So those T1 mass points are indeed knocked out. More strikers coming now from Impasse, and he is gonna definitely make a strong move here on Hala, but Hala getting some Mantis out, not gonna deal with those strikers. Said I've had enough of that shit. And that striker's asshole has been turned into a tennis ball container. Looking very nice now for Hala, knocking out those strikers, securing those mass points. And that's something for anyone who is new, something you really want to focus on is making sure your engineers are guarded, because as you can see, if you don't, this is exactly what happens. Your mass points and your engineers are taking out, and that's going to be another 3 mass points down for Impasse. Getting a land scout now, or an air scout out, and he has seen that T1 air defense, I think. Let's take a look here and see if he has that. He does. He has seen the whole base, so he does know what's going on now. A little bit of a land push here. T1 land push by Hala, probably trying to secure this lower left-hand part of the map, but a bomber out for Impasse. He's going to try to knock out that engineer. That's exactly what he's doing. He apparently didn't make the cut there, and bam goes that mass point. And that is really going to put Hala in a tight spot. But he does have engineers. He does have interceptors, and he is going to deal with that very fast. He also has a few jesters out, it looks like, going to go do some counter harassment in the air. And Impasse constantly focusing on those bombers now. Doesn't have any interceptors out, so he will lose a couple mass points. An engineer building T1 PD, but that's not going to matter. And getting those Scorchers out. Now very many Scorchers. Got 3 of them on the field in the early game. And as you know, air, it really does hurt your economy early in the early game. It really just does not work out well for you. This little T1 push here is not going to be successful. And he didn't even lose the mass point either. Little bad micro there by Hala, not going to secure that point. And as we can see, this apparently got taken care of down here, but Hala did get an engineer, so he is going to secure those mass points. And building up some air here now for Hala. Got some interceptors, an air scout, and some bombers. Possibly going to go for a few NG snipes. Scorchers now taking out these T1 mass points. And I always found, personally, that the Scorchers are probably the coolest bomber out of all the T1 bombers. Because I played the campaign, And I did a mission where you build just a ton, or you could build whatever you want. I built just a ton of these, and when you drop like 50 Scorcher Bombs, it's just awesome. It's just fucking great. Another bomber harassment over here. Is he going to get that engineer? He is going to get that engineer, and that's got to be annoying. Just that constant bomber spam from two sides. And he sees the interceptors with the strikers. He's going to go in and get those mass points down, moving in some bombers behind here. And if he can spot those other bombers, he could possibly start pumping out interceptors, but it doesn't look like he's going to make a move for it. That's probably a smart idea, but never mind. As I say that, there he goes, going after T2, so his commander has made the switch to T2. I did not catch that. That's my bad. Going after those T2 P-gens. And excuse me again, he has a Tech 2 land factory, and he just had his commander assist. Going for some T2 mass extractors, possibly. Yep, he's upgrading to T3 now. Getting into the tech stage of this game, building some shield generator now. Some shield generator. Come on, Purple Cam. Come on. Let's get your grammar together. You grew up in America. Getting another mass point down, and that... oh, that's got to be annoying. Really wants to get that mass point down, and he drops the bomb. Another mass point down for Hala, really securing that eco. But Hala does have the air advantage right now, and those jesters just went on a little killing spree, as you can see. Got a tiny land engagement here, but nothing Hala can't handle. He's already prepared for it. He said, you know what, fuck you, get off my land. And that little wedge there is just going to prevent Hala from doing any damage to those strikers while they take out that T1 mass point, and that's going to be just so annoying. A couple bombers moving in it from Hala, taking out some of these strikers. And now an interceptor in for Impasse. Looks like he is going to say fuck you and your bombers. A few more inties now coming in to deal with those bombers, but looks like they've been pretty much cleaned up. Not a lot happening right now, just some air harassment and a few land engagements, but like I said, not every one of my casts is going to be, you know, woohoo. I know that's like the trend, and I definitely will make a playlist that probably has like, you know, 1v1 ladder matches of higher ranking, and then I'll have just these, your casual matches, so people who want to start playing this game and watch, you know, these videos, and oh, I'm sorry, I'm speaking and not paying attention. Some T2 fighter bombers now out for Impasse, and that is just annoying. That T1 anti-air is just going to do nothing, and look at those. That is just so cool. Those bombs, those flaming death bombs. And that interceptor is going to get sandwiched, but not before that fighter bomber comes in and helps out. And that is the end of those T1 interceptors. And another fighter bomber coming in for Impasse. Going to knock out these mass points and say, you know what? Fuck your eco and your couch. Does not give a single fuck right now. More interceptors coming in, and looks like a Corsair coming in now for Hala. He has made the transition to T2 Air, recognizing the threat. And he is now going to be able to deal with the Janices that he has put out, that Impasse has put out, and that will certainly be annoying for Impasse. But he deals with that T1 or that T2 bomber, fighter bomber, and he's just continuing to harass his base, and that is just not looking good. That's a lot of mass you're losing right there. And not only that, but map control. By the way, let's take a look at map control. It looks like Impasse is doing a little bit better and expanding here. He's getting these mass points out, and he's popping turrets around him to defend him because of this air game. Just not going well for Hala right now. And with a huge rank advantage, you would think he would be doing a little better. But as I say that, look at this. Some, what do you call these? Hoplites, yes. Some Hoplites, Vipers, Rhinos, a large mix of units in there for Hala, and he is going to take the fight right to Impasse's doorstep. Says, you know what? Fuck your air. I'm coming right to your doorstep, and I'm knocking on it until I break the door down. It's not giving a fuck about anything right now. He's just going balls deep. Notices the threat, though, over here, and is going to try to take care of that. And I think he has some, yep, T2 flak in there, too. Some bangers. Very good. And that's going to deal with that T2 air. He's no longer going to have to worry about fighter bombers running strafes on his units. He's going to be able to secure this forward base and hopefully turn it into a fire base. I would like to see some commander v commander here, but it just doesn't look like it. And in a lot of these lower level games, you do see that the commanders, in fact, just kind of sit around in their base and build stuff. And if we take a look at the commander here, he does not have any upgrades, which is a very bad part on Impasse, or a very bad move on Impasse's part, because he can use his commander to his advantage if he gets that T2 engineering suite. That's a mobile fighting unit that can make a firebase for him. And let's look at what Hala's commander has here, because I'm hoping at least one of these guys is doing the right thing with their commander. And he has gotten the T2 engineering suite, so that's good for Hala. He's definitely going to have an advantage. But one of the mistakes I made in the early game, and that, like I said, a lot of people make, is they don't realize how formidable their commander is, especially if he gets those rank ups. You can turn T1 spam into dust with a ranked up commander and a gun upgrade. It's just horrendous. Your commander is really your most important asset on the field. I mean, let alone the fact that when he dies, you lose. It's such an important part of the game to use your commander in every way possible. He's better in every way than an engineer, and better in every way than T1 and most T2 combat units, and actually most T3 if you make him a fighting unit. He's basically an experimental waiting to be upgraded. But seeing as no one is using that to their advantage, has a few sneaky bombers just sitting here waiting for their opportunity to turn someone into ash. We have a large T2 force now moving down for Hala. Gonna try to make a push on Impasse's base, and Impasse really not doing much in the realm of base expansion. Expanded to this little mini crater over here, but other than that, really hasn't made too much of a push. Hasn't tried to keep Hala off this area or this area, other than that T2 bomber push. And those Vipers are going to go to work now on that T1 PD, and so are those hoplites, and that's going to be annoying. He's going to have to get in there and try to stop him. And it looks like we have some pillars now. Yes, we do. We have a bunch of pillars from Impasse, and if he can get those units in there and do some very good microwing, he can easily deal with that army, because it's not just rhinos and hoplites. There's a lot of mantis in there too. Running head first, though, not going to do you very good. As you can see, he's not microwing his units, he's just throwing them at Hala, and that's going to give him some very good mass to reclaim if he gets an engineer out there. But I think I see some triads now. Yes, triads are built, and apparently have been there the whole time. And now Hala is making the mistake and moving his units in to deal with those instead of letting the Vipers deal with them. But he is going to take them out at the cost of a few units, which apparently he is perfectly fine with. His Viper's now going to town on that radar. Note that T1 air, and hopefully he notices that radar. He does, and he is going to take it out. And now Impasse has no idea what's going on. He only sees these units. He has no idea what's going on out here, and that's going to be a big disadvantage for him. Got some more T2 units, a few more pillars coming out for Impasse, but it's just not going to matter at this point. However, Hala is making a move towards the left side now. Going to run into what looks like some clink hammers. Alright, well, Impasse has made a very bold move, putting some clink hammers at the front of his base. No shielding, but that definitely will help with that T2 spam. However, Hala is making a move towards the left-hand side of his base now, taking out that little mini area in hopes that he can do some damage to his eco, and he is going to do some damage to his eco. Everything destroyed. No more mass for you, Impasse, Hala says. He says, fuck you. I don't care. I'm getting something out of this. And more T2 spam now. Got a bunch of hoplites, a few rhinos and vipers mixed in there. That's going to be a nice combination. And he's probably going to push down from this right side. See a T1 radar system up here. and a few Tech 2 land factories here. If Hala can knock those out, he's really going to hamper Impass's ability to defend himself, both engineer and combat-wise. That would be a great move in Hala's direction. And does he see those T2 factories? He does see that they are there, but he doesn't know what they are. Hopefully we see some more combat from these two. And look at this. Yep, here we go. Bricks coming out from Hala made the transition to T3 land, and that is probably going to secure the game for him if Impasse cannot get some more tech out quickly. But with a lot of his eco destroyed and units at his front base, it does not look good for Impasse. But those Clink Hammers going to work on that T2. Hala just letting them sit there and letting those Vipers and Hoplites just snipe everything that comes into range. But yep, Hala now realizing the threat at hand is going to move his units, and he's just losing more and more as he pushes deeper and deeper into that base. Hopefully he makes a move on the right side, and as I say that, there we go. There it is, Hala making a push on that right side, going to get that T1 radar system down, hopefully. And that's probably going to be the last of Impasse's intel that he is going to be able to get. And I'm sorry I put emphasis on the wrong part of intel. I am just in the zone right now. Impasse's commander still sitting in the exact same place. No upgrades on his commander. And Impasse calls the GG. He knows it's over. And there it is. He just straight up quits out of the game. Doesn't want to see the destruction of his base. And there's the nuke and the win. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I did. I'm looking forward to casting many more matches for the FAF community, both of high and low ranking, 1v1s, 4v4s, everything. Shout out to Guile, my inspiration for doing this. Shout out to the FAF guys for making this possible. Shout out to Supreme Commander, the game, for being the best game and one of the most enjoyable games I've played in a while. Anyone who has a replay, either in a high-ranking ladder match or not, if you're proud of the match and you want it casted, I will make sure to cast it. Please don't send troll matches, though, because, I mean, you know what? I'll end up figuring it out eventually. But when I say troll matches, I mean, like, games that people play that it lasts like 2 minutes. I don't want to cast a 2-minute game. That's not fun. I was running at +3 the whole time, and you know, it still went pretty fast. So please try to make those games last like over 20 minutes, 28 minutes at the least, so it can be a lengthy recording, so it doesn't just have to be a 5-minute recording. I would prefer that, and the people at home would, I'm sure, would prefer that. And if you're proud of the game, I'm happy to cast it for you. And I also want to say that if it's over an hour and you send it to me, it won't get casted immediately because I work full-time and I have a relationship. I do a lot of things on the side, so I want to get these in when I have the time. So I'm not saying they won't be casted, but I'm saying if you do send me, you know, as Gaia calls them, epics, a match over an hour long, they will get casted, just not right away. I'll try to get the earlier ones out, and I'll make playlists so you guys can find all these on my channel. Anyway, I've done enough talking. I am Purple Cam. This is the Purple Cast, and I look forward to turning tons of you into FAF fans and boosting this community to where it deserves to be. I'm out.